Hi guys, today I'm going to be talking about foraging and optimal foraging behaviors in bears. My name is Jessica Rodriguez. This is for Bio 7 and Fall 2019. So what is foraging? Foraging is a behavior that's used to describe how animals obtain their food. This includes anywhere from an animal's ability to search for food, like tracking or using olfactory senses, their ability to recognize their next meal, and ultimately eat their meal. Alongside this, I want to talk a little bit about the optimal foraging theory, which was created by Robert H. MacArthur and E.R. Penka. And this consists of a cost benefit analysis, which just asks the question of what can an animal do to gain the most energy while obtaining its meal and staying safe. However, overall, foraging's main goals for this entire presentation is going to be for a species to gain the right amount of energy to continue its life in the right conditions. So, how do animals vary in foraging patterns? It usually depends on the environment they're in. Animals, like humans, tend to respond to their environment, and they can sometimes adjust their behavior to fit a new adaptation to that specific environment. For example, humans have the ability to alter an organism's foraging patterns, and this can be beneficial or harmful. Adding on, as mentioned today in lecture, relevant to my topic, polar bears no longer have their usual ice caps, so now they must add traveling farther distances as one of their foraging behaviors. Foraging can also be varied because it can be genetic or learned through trial and error. Apart from this, there are also various types of foragings, like those done in solidarity or those done in groups. Ultimately, the foraging behavior chosen by an animal plays an important role in how an animal survives and ultimately reproduces. So, the life history of the bear species, I'm going to go over the entire species before I get specific. So, it began about 30 million years ago with a common ancestor known as miakids. There are 8 species of bears, which include sun, sloth, speckled, American black, Asian black, brown, polar, and giant panda. The closest living relatives to bears are pineids. They're sexually dimorphic, which means there's a difference in male and females. The males are obviously bigger, about twice their size, and females usually become sexually mature between the years of 4 to 8 years. Their gestation time is usually 6.5 to 9 months. And here we have a picture of a phylogenetic tree alongside all the bears labeled. If you want to pause the video and take a look. So my focus today is going to be on brown bears. Brown bears are often found in forests or mountains in northern North America and Europe, Asia, British Columbia, or Alaska. They're omnivores, which means their diet usually consists of animals, fruits, and veggies, and they're known as some of the world's largest terrestrial meat-eating mammals. They identify a brown bear by the hump on the top of its shoulder, and they can vary from colors brown, red, tan, cream. They can be bicolored or nearly black. They also inhabit temperate forests. They prefer semi-open regions, but they can also live on tundras and prairies. They're part of the kingdom Animalia, the phylum Chordata, and the class Mammalia. The life history of a brown bear. So their average lifespans are usually about 25 to 30 years. Their size are usually on average 5 to 8 feet, and they weigh somewhere between 350 to 1,500 pounds. Their young are usually born blind, naked, and weighing about 340 to 680 grams. They're known to lactate for about 18 to 30 months, and their parental care ends from anywhere from their 3rd to 4th year of life. Currently, the species is stable, but they're shrinking in some areas and growing in others. And some of the threats to the species include hunting, poaching, and other human-related mortality and habit fragmentations. This usually means sometimes they're able to die a little early. So, foragings in brown bears in a general sense. Some of the behaviors they choose is moving in response to seasonal availability of food, which means they're able to travel back and forth between lands. They have excellent memories and they tend to learn about their food types and locations and then later in life reapply the knowledge, and sometimes over time. They spage forage for food in the early morning and evenings and sometimes rest throughout the day. Bears can forage up to 20 hours a day in the autumn, and territory can sometimes influence foraging behaviors, although they're not territorial. But often, they challenge one another for fishing spots, and their food variation consists of 85% plant material and 15% of animal protein. In terms of specifics, I chose berry hunting as my foraging behavior. And I did this because, like I've mentioned before, 85% of their foraging goes down to their plant material. So in total, they consume about 30,000 berries a day in a good year. So they gather berries rather quickly. They use their sensitive and mobile lips. I don't know if you guys have seen videos, but they're able to like sway their lips to pick up stuff on the ground. And they use their olfactory senses and they can often smell out berries, the same way that dogs use their noses to track people or things. They're also seen as being able to climb up trees to reach berries, and they can consume berries from twigs on the ground, or they can ultimately pull the trees or leaves in a downward motion. And that sums up the end of my presentation today. Thank you for watching, and here are my references.